Watching your crush playing a basketball can be a magical moment. But the truth is, there's no such thing as magic. According to a scientist, everything is explainable by science. And for today, we are going to find out what are the variables involved. Now, let me ask you a question. While watching your crush throwing the ball at the rim, have you ever wondered what could be the variables involved or present to make the ball stays in the air for a certain time, then drop to the ground? And what are the possibilities that could happen to a projectile if one variable is affected or changed? What will happen to the object if it's launched horizontally? Everything can calculated, so if you want to know more, just continue watching this video.
What is projectile?
A projectile is any object of particle that is acted upon by the force of gravity. Projectile objects may be dropped, thrown, launched, or rolled into space. Once projected, these objects will continue in motion due to their own and gravity's downward pull. This is an example of a projectile that is projected near the Earth's surface and moves along a curved path under the action of gravity only. This curved path was shown by Galileo to be a parabola, but may also be aligned in the special case when it is thrown directly upwards. There are two types of projectile, the horizontal and the vertical. But for this video, we are just going to tackle about the horizontal motion. The question is, how far did the projectile go horizontally before hitting the ground? First thing first, let's make sure we understand how these questions relate to motion in both x and y direction. The time it spends in the air only relates to y direction behavior, because it stops being in the air when it hits the ground, no matter what the horizontal velocity is, from 0 to some huge number. Suppose you are throwing a projectile at some angle. The projectile will follow a parabolic path during its flight before it reaches the ground. The horizontal and vertical motion of the ground are completely independent of one another. They do not influence each other. The question is, how far did the projectile go horizontally before hitting the ground? First things first, let's make sure we understand how these questions relate to motion in both x and y direction. The time it spends in the air only relates to y direction behavior because it stopped being in the air when it hits the ground. To find out how to solve a projectile launch horizontally, continue watching this video.
Now we all know what is the difference between projectile and projection motion. Let's now try to understand it deeper. Now buckle up because it's gonna be complicated but fun.
Oh, it's me, your Papa Jerry. Always here to help you. Just raise your hand, I'll be there. Today, our friend Carol is having trouble on her science experiment, which is about projectile motion that launch horizontally. She's trying to get the distance of the ball that traveled in horizontal motion. But, unfortunately, she doesn't know how to get it. So, our mission for today is help Carol on how to get the distance of basketball traveled projectile in horizontal motion and step by step.
Solving the problem, let us note the given first based on the videos. Let us start with the velocity of the ball, which is 20 meter per second, and the height of the ball is 1.25 meter above the ground level. Take Carol throw her basketball horizontally with the velocity of 20 meter per second. If the height of the ball is 1.25 meter above level ground, how far it takes the ball to hit the ground? In this problem, let us do this step by step, which we will using the GRESA method that state for the given, required equation, solution, and answer. Let's start. First is the given. Vix is equal to 20 meter per second, dy is equal to negative 1.25 meter, g is equal to negative 9.8 meter per second squared. Let's do the required, which is time and range. Equations to be used in this problem are square root of 2 dy over g for the time and vx multiplied by time for the dx. Solution, let us first solve the time using the equation of t is equal to square root of 2 dy over g. Next, we will substitute the given. T is equal to square root of 2 times negative 1.25 meter over negative 9.8 meter per second squared. T is equal to square root of negative 2.5 meter over negative 9.8 meter per second squared. T is equal to square root of 0.25 seconds squared, and the answer is t is equal to 0.50 seconds. After solving the time, we will now solve next the dx using the equation. Dx is equal to vxt, then substitute again. Dx is equal to 20 meter per second times 0.50 seconds, and the answer is 10 meter. For the final answer, it will be 10 meter for the distance for the ball to hit the ground.
Now that is the process on how you get the projectile launched horizontally. For your better understanding, try answering this video and follow the steps on how we did it.
Jade threw her basketball horizontally with a velocity of 25 meter per second. If the height of the ball is 2.5 meter above level ground, how far does the ball take to hit the ground?